barricade at the end of Front Street. There was a police barricade blocking the street so people couldn't get out. But the people trying to escape in those cars that you see burnt, they were blockaded in there. The water was shut off. Firefighters couldn't fight this. The local people couldn't save their own homes. School was canceled that day. You had children, our keiki, babies, and elderly trapped in the homes. That's who they're recovering. As a Hawaii native, as somebody born and raised on the island of Maui, as somebody who has family and friends and community over there, please keep talking about it. Please keep talking about it. Share videos, comment on posts, like videos. Even if it feels icky liking them, it helps the algorithm. Push this message, push their messages out. Make sure the world knows what is happening, what is really going on, because I can promise you guys this, and of course I have to say allegedly so I don't get in trouble. You guys are not seeing the same news and social media posts as to what's actually going on there. I'm from Maui. That is my home, and I am not even seeing my friends and family members post about this that are sharing videos, and I'm getting all kinds of conflicting information. But I can tell you that the one that's coming from the media, allegedly, and I'm not talking about Maui News or Maui Times or Maui News Now or anything like that, because they are being blocked too, but the ones that are coming from the media over here are absolutely trash. It is not true, and they're painting a different picture, and they're trying to create division, and they're going to put the blame on the power company or on the firefighters or the first responders. They're following orders. My son's father and his family and friends and aunties, uncles, all of them were trying to, they were part of a convoy, and they were trying to get out there, and they were turned away. They told that there's too much supplies or whatever. There's 3 possible reasons for too much supplies. One is definitely not because they don't need it. It's because the supplies is not being distributed now, meaning, so it's kind of just building up. The other reason it could possibly be is because there's not enough survivors for this. The third reason is they're being lied to. This is what's going to happen. Allegedly, this is what's going to happen. They're going to either stop or slow down shipments of supplies back over there. So restocking stores is going to take longer, or it's going to not happen, or it's going to happen in these small little shipments. It's going to become a scarcity thing. They are going to say that for whatever reason, shipments can't get out there and restock stores. And then when it comes time to rebuild, they're going to price the shit out of everything. They are going to raise the prices and make it darn near impossible for people to rebuild. Realtors are going to be out there trying to buy up the land and sell it to corporations or the tourist industry or, 1%ers that are trying to go over there and buy up the land, and all this dies down and it's quiet. They're going to steal their land. They're going to have no other choice but to sell. They want it to take long. They want people to forget. They want people not to be able to afford to rebuild. No. You're not stealing their land and making it state land. You're not going to make it a memorial or claim to make it a memorial so you can do what you want with it. This is the people of Hawaii's land. This is the native Hawaiians' land. You don't get to take it. You don't get say over what happens to it after it is their family members and friends and loved ones that are laying there that have passed away and haven't been found. You don't get to say what happens to that ground. I'm begging you guys, just keep spreading awareness. Keep reposting the same videos, even if you get 0 views, 0 likes, anything. Just keep spreading the same videos. Keep spreading the information. Make sure the world knows. Get loud, obnoxiously loud about it. And I understand that people go on with their life, and I understand that people are suffering and all that kind of stuff. But if we actually came together, if we started right here, right now on this current event and all the other current events, if we started right now and said, no, enough is enough, they would be forced to listen to us. And I'm not insinuating a riot or suggesting an uprising or anything like that. I'm simply saying to use your voice.
Yes, I been waiting a little bit, even though it's been over a month since this has happened. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's very sad what's happened to the people in Maui. You know, they are part of us in America, and they're just a part of the human race. They're people, for crying out loud. And, you know, we should have a heart of care and compassion and concern for them. And our heart breaks for what they have gone through and the things that they're facing. And, you know, there's been a lot of cover ups and a lot of fishiness, foul play, and stuff like that. So we just want to get into some of this, shed a little light and awareness. And I actually have to say, with that first video clip, I was very amazed by her awareness. You know, some people still don't know what's going on. They're clueless. But she's very aware, even though she can't pinpoint everything on what's actually happening. And so we just want to take some time to dive into this. You may not be able to get through all of this today. If you have some time, you know, sit back, gather this for not for just information's sakes, but also so you'll know how to pray. Maybe you know someone you can contact, a city official. Maybe you know some people down there who can, you know, they can be better informed of what's happening. But, you know, I would say as of right now, they've cut off a lot of communication and information to these people. And, you know, the people in Lahaina, you have a governor that was absent. You have a mayor that was nowhere to be found. You have a police chief that was nowhere to be found. And it seems pretty odd that all of their places, houses, you know, their buildings, even where they work, nothing was touched. And one was even out of town. And yet they were already having talks about making Hawaii in certain areas into a test ground for a smart city. Oh, and the governor, Josh, whatever his last name is even going to the United Nations to say how he wants to propose smart cities. And now that's kind of weird because that's one of the agendas of the United Nations. And making this area as a beta test ground. And also, instead of giving people reimbursement money for their land and compensating them, just go ahead and take it all in eminent domain, like the government does, takes up land like they did to Edmund Bundy and others. But that's another subject for another day. Take this land from these poor Hawaiians and just make it a memorial. But there you have BlackRock. And all these other investors trying to come in offering before this had happened in Lahaina and after to buy up land, even though the governor says we're not going to have outside people come in to buy land. No. You already have your people lined up because you have people like Amazon, I have to say allegedly too, like that young lady, which is actually true. Amazon and others that are trying to do these test runs for these different projects and smart cities, and you have all this land. We're going to talk about Oprah and her role behind all this. And I'm not just talking about her trying to raise money with The Rock. That was all a put on. That was a farce. We're going to dive in deeper. We're going to even talk about some things that may sound like a conspiracy theory, but, you know, the truth, fiction is strange or seems more factual than the truth, or however that saying goes. Number one, there's a lot of fires happening all over the world. Fires happening all over the world. And, you know, yeah, we can say it's the signs of the times, and there will be some natural disasters that are naturally caused and signs of the times, okay? But I'm going to show you a lot of video clips. I'm going to show you a lot of footage. I'm going to show you stuff that you won't even see on the mainstream media. Surprisingly, they're allowing all this stuff still on mainstream media. But I want to get this on record and even have it as we're recording right now. I'm doing this recording because there's going to come a time where they're even going to cut it on social media. There has been a lot of videos, surprisingly, still up, but many are banned and blocked and taken down. And so I'm blessed to even be able to show you the stuff I'm showing you now, because right now they have an area in Hawaii where there's no media coverage, a total blackout of information. No drones flying over this area. There's for miles a long fence put up with tarping wall over 6 feet high, where you can't even see inside what they're doing. And oh wow, Project Veritas, which is now OMG, they went down there and they were confirming everything I was already verifying and getting information on. You got to stay tuned to watch this. This is going to be something to see. So without further ado, let me help you see something real quick here. Okay, right here, there's fires happening all over the world. But see, this is the main thing people have to understand. And I've caught this from the beginning. I was just on to it from the beginning. Okay, 79 people arrested in Greece for arson. See, that's the issue right there. In a lot of cases, like even Canada, 79 people, or many people are arrested. Well, look here, 79 people arrested in Greece for arson, following the latest climate change wildfires. So, and that's what it is. It says in the eco-terrorism now. And so you see these different footages of, like, we'll touch this one right here. You see these fires happening. Oh.
Μαρία, πριν από λίγα λεπτά είχαμε τόση Καναντέρ στον οικισμό.
And this different footage right here. See this one right here. All of this. At least 19,000 people have been evacuated from the Greek island of Rhodes. And so you see, this is all Greece. All Greece. There's fires happening all over the world, all in more areas of the United States, but they're not telling you on the local news to cover it because they're distracting you with all this Trump stuff, Hunter Biden, and all this other junk, this COVID junk. They're not even telling you what's really happening. So there's so much going on. And they're trying to get answers, but the officials, the mayor, the governor, the police chief, and that's another story right there. They ain't going to tell you nothing. See, this right here is Kelowna, BC, or Vancouver. This is in Canada. And British Columbia. These are the fires happening up there. And see, people standing outside right now, just holding each other, crying as their properties and houses being consumed. But yet, in a lot of cases, they don't even know and catch who's doing it. So you have a lot of arsonists, that are out there. If there's not arsonists, then there's another method, which I'm going to show you what's going on. And it's very suspicious, but if you pay attention, you'll see what they're saying right in front of your face. But there's so many things that's happening, and people feel like they're being short-sighted, and I'm going to commentate as these people talk. And we're just going to go with the flow. But there's people that's frustrated. They're getting only, $700? Yet we give Ukraine billions and billions of dollars. But we give our American citizens $700? That's it? It's a slap and a spit in the face. So let's dive into some more clips here. Here's Joe Biden coming in town finally, after he said no comment. People are mad, they're flipping him off, they're upset and everything, and they felt so mistreated from the local government and from the United States federal government. And I understand. They feel abandoned. They was expressing how they felt in these city town hall meetings. I mean, no help. People were left distraught. And you're going to hear, I'm about to show you some stuff that's going to rock your world. So you just hang tight. Please, you trust me, you haven't seen nothing. Here he is sitting down with some of the victims and they're having their meeting. Yeah, we still have yet to go, folks. Trust me. We haven't even got into a lot of the good stuff yet. But he looks like he's, I don't know. Is he sad, y'all? You tell me. Is he sad? Is he sleepy, as they call him, Sleepy Joe? Or what's going on? But when he finally gets up to speak, oh my goodness. I would have been so angry if I was a resident. I mean, I'm very upset now by what he said, but you should hear what he said, and this shows you how out of touch he is with the people, or does he even care? Listen to this.
There are difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake that's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat. But all kidding aside, I watched the firefighters, the way they responded. No, there's no expression. I grew up right across the street from a fire hall in Claremont, Delaware.
He said, so we can compare difficulties. And then he goes to talk about lightning hitting his house, almost taking out his Corvette, which the documents were in. Jill, his wife, almost getting killed or whatever, and the cat. I mean, many kids are missing. Kids died, people died, and we're talking about you losing a cat. Shows you how out of touch and insensitive he is, but I mean, now you see, and the people have every right to be upset. Listen to this lady in this town hall meeting.
So I'm 61. I was living on 1A Street. When it happened, I walked away with nothing except my dog. And I've been part of the human experiment ever since. First we were in Maui prep. They passed out toilet paper because they wouldn't let us use the bathroom. I guess we look like leprosy people to them in our dark skin. Then we went to Baldwin High. Now I'm at Royal Lahaina. We need help because we're being told by people from the mainland who are culturally insensitive to fill out papers that will give the America, which I am a forced American. I'm not a proud American. I am forced to be American in Hawaii. You're telling us to fill out this paperwork so that you can give us the least amount of money. All I've had since day one is $700. FEMA is fighting with SBA. I walked out yesterday because I'm hearing conflicting stories of what paper I should fill out. We need meetings in Lahaina. So many people, my employees, they're a Filipino ancestry, they're Filipino. They don't know how to fill these papers out. 4 out of 5 of us lost our homes. It was burned to the ground. We are only being told, stand in this line, sign here. What are we signing? Who is it benefiting, us or America? That's what I want to know. And I want to know when we get to go back to our home in Wainea. Maybe it's gone, but for reasons that I don't want to discuss, we need to go back there. Are you guys going to just scrape it all away and say disaster zone? And America's going to get what they want, their satellite city? Because this was planned years ago. It's now happening. And all the poor people, the homeless, the hardworking people of the hotels, the kapuna, we lost everything. so you could have your satellite city.
See what I told
This
you?
isn't fair. I
Satellite
feel like
cities.
I was used. I feel like crap on the ground.
Smart cities.
This is not right, and we should not be treated this way. We're in a hotel, and we have no communication. I cannot watch the news. I don't know what's going on. I just happened to see on Facebook there's a meeting here. We couldn't even have our pastor come in and ask us if we need prayer in the very beginning, but Oprah could come in.
Wow.
Who is she? Who is she? They said, oh, she knows the governor. We didn't need her in there in Bowen High. Get her out. We don't know. We also don't need people like Kai Nishiki telling tourists don't come to Maui. Because some of us, thousands of us, work in the hotel industry. They pay our mortgage. They give us our medical. And the medical, besides the county, is pretty good for somebody old like me. So don't go tell tourists, don't come Maui, because you're not speaking for us, the working people. You're speaking for yourself. Tourists come, we love you. We have aloha. You have gave us money through your donations. We're not saying don't come. Come, because you will be helping us, the lower people. The grains of sand of Maui is what we are. We're not the ones living up in Laniapoku. Not one of those houses burned. Puamana is still there. Laina Shores is still there. Everything beyond the Civic Center is there, but the homes where we were working, where we were scraping, where we had less than $1,000 a month to pay for our basic needs of gas and food.
All the
we
rich.
Busted our ass.
Yep.
And this is what we get?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody called us. Our phones didn't work from 5 in the morning. The fire was not 10 o'clock when I went to work. The fire was still there. There was no water. Tell me if that's coincidence. No water, no warning. And everybody talking about the satellite city before the fire.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
be the first satellite city.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted.
Yep.
Oprah, you got what you wanted. And the guy who owns the nut, you got what you wanted. Fuck us all over. That's what happened. We need help in Lahaina. Who's going to come now and ask us, can I pray for you, Auntie?
Thank you.
Can I help you with your paperwork? Because all we got so far was $700, and we don't know who to call or anything. It's culturally insensitive in that zone.
See what I'm saying? See? She said they were already talking about satellite cities or smart cities before all of this happened because it was already planned. This is all by design. So anyone who wants to try to yell, oh, conspiracy theory, please shove it. Shove it right now. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Right now, shut that stuff up. They were already, even she's aware of this. But what happens when you can't even get the people to sell their land? People were coming in there trying, BlackRock, all these others, Larry Fink and them, his company. And who's over him? Rockefellers, Rothschilds. Trying to get all this land up. That's what they want to do. They want to buy up all kind of land. Jeff Bezos, well, they want smart cities. All these big, rich, big billionaires. And tech companies, and they want to do government experiments. It's like they're all working hand in hand with the government. And as like I told you, the governor of Hawaii wants to go to the United Nations. He gets to come to the United Nations and talk about how they overcame and now how they should move to be having smart cities. They're not telling you this in the mainstream, fake news media. They're not telling you this. Some of them, like her, are smart and aware. This whole meeting and went on for different days, but went on for hours. That was August the 22nd, 2023. I got so much to show you. These people are smart. Right here. It's like, and I do my research. These people, a lot of people still don't know what's going on. They were telling kids and who had no place to go. Listen, just watch. I'm going to show you one more guy speaking here, and then we're going to move on to something different. I'm going to show you the Oprah stuff. None of the rich folks' houses got burnt. None. None of them. Oprah's none of them. And she got more land. Wow. Watch.
So I think you'll find a lot of good material there. Thank you.
My name's Jeffrey Stephen of the House of Jarrett. Now you put a face with a name. I am the one that sues this group, and I'm holding you accountable. And the reason being, legislation will not bring back the dead nor the harm. There are hundreds of people that are not allowed onto their property except strangers to the EPA are sifting through their sacred property and sacred ground, and they are not being investigated. This same material is then removed from the site and supposedly being sent to the mainland. That should be of high concern to you, because if this chamber, who addressed this same issue in 2018, is allowing people from out of our country, the nation of Hawaii or the state of Hawaii, to abscond this information, because I guarantee you, none of you know exactly what's responsible for this fire. None of you do. And because of that, it's a crime scene. And if it's a crime scene and they're removing the product or spraying product on it, the EPA spraying product on it, and then they're removing product from it, you don't know if it's an accelerant from chemtrails, whatever those things are, or if it was malfeasance by the electrical department, Hawaii Electric, Maui Electric, same company, or if it's malfeasance by maladministration, because I, as a builder, I'm licensed in electrical, plumbing, general contracting. I'm licensed to remove asbestos, toxic metals, and lead. And I can guarantee you, I have seen pictures of these people doing their thing, and they are not in hazmat suits that qualify for them to remove lead from a house, let alone toxic waste. Yet they are. You don't know what is going on. And they're basically, because of that, it's a crime scene, and they are manipulating, taking material from it. Under Title 18 USC 4, malfeasance and a form of fraud. You now know that this has gone on, and because of that, you must do an estoppel immediately so you can have a true investigation from outside sources that are not from someone that, whether it's a directed energy weapon or chemicals coming down or the electrical department not having the correct size poles up, or the administration not demanding that it's done right, or this group not demanding it's done right. You have a responsibility. Not just to me. I come in the name of Yeshua. You have a responsibility before God. You're going to all account before a living God. And trust me, you see the scar on my face? I died at the age of 15 months. I drowned at the age of 3. I've had other things that have happened. I know the other side exists. So please, for the children's sake that did not get to speak because they were incinerated, investigate this whole thing. Have an estoppel. Go in immediately. Take information out so you can find out exactly who, what, and how it actually happened, so it doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
And he's right. They will account before a living God. And all of those who are behind this, who are trying to lay low, God sees. And he knows. And if you don't repent, the hell that you will burn in will be 7,000 times more hotter than what those poor children and innocent people had to go through. Because the police chief had a certain road closed down on purpose. Had police working that highway, directing people who were trying to come from where that fire was to turn back around off that main road. And in other words, they had to drive back in to go to the other side. In other words, drive to their death. Those who obeyed the police died. Those who went around and avoided the police and didn't listen to them and disobeyed. I mean, we're talking about life or death here. What you going to do? Take me to jail? It's death or jail. I think I'd rather go to jail. Some of them went up the hill. Some of them giving testimonies went over through these mountains and roads and side roads and all this stuff. And they lived to tell the story. Others who obeyed and said, okay, well, they blocked this road off. We guess we just have to turn around, George. We got to turn around, Mary. And they went back the other way. They drove into the fiery furnace and died. One woman was trying to get through to get to her baby, and they blocked it out. Said, no, there's no one in there. Everyone's gone. She came back. Her daughter, little baby, small baby girl, was there, burnt to a crisp, nothing but a fried crisp, like a burnt hot dog or something, burnt, clutching and holding on to the dog. Boy, I tell you, it was, the fires there were so hot, but the anger within them was probably hotter than what those fires were. Those people, the anger, the frustration, they were probably, and I say this loosely, they were literally mad as that fire that was burning, or mad as the fires of hell. And you would be too. If that was your daughter, if that was your son, if that was your mother, if that was your uncle, if that was your grandmother, grandfather. But yet they don't care. All they want is their smart cities. All they want is what's best for them and benefits them. Oh, but, they trying to brush it under the bridge and, hey, let's forget about it. That's why they're trying to shut up the coverage. You see a lot of stuff on YouTube. But they're not talking about it on the mainstream media like they should. You saw a little coverage and then that was it. Like you're going to see a clip here from CNN. And then that was it. You didn't see nothing else. No more after that. Little small talks here and there. They didn't really ask the real questions and talk about the real stuff like these people are. But watch this.
Where's the president? He decides to come here this week, to come here next week. I mean, like, where aren't we Americans too? Like, we're part of the United States, but why are we getting put in the back pocket? Why are we being ignored? And I feel like these families need aid right away, and they're being turned away.
This Maui situation, it's just getting crazier for me. Because not only Vanguard, BlackRock, Oprah, everybody owning land and their stuff not getting hit, but you can now be evicted. Here's a lefty on TikTok who is basically coming to his senses that he might be on the wrong side of the aisle here. Here's what he comes to terms with. These evictions that are coming, you can get evicted. Listen to this.
Someone please debunk me. You can actually evict the Maui wildfire survivors? Like, tell me you're joking.
Do not give up Maui. Do not let them take your land. I just saw this morning, just now on TikTok, they are giving eviction notices to people whose houses didn't burn down.
No fucking way. Like, I wasn't in the conspiracy camp where, like, space lasers caused the Hawaiian wildfires on purpose, but I sure shit knew BlackRock, Vanguard, and other bankers weren't going to give up a fire sale, so...
This Lahaina shit is insane. I have a friend who lost his home. He lost everything, but this isn't for him. This is somebody else by him. They didn't lose their home, but they're about to, because the mayor is evicting the entire fucking building. Some of the only people that still had homes, and they're evicting them. They have 45 days. Pause to read.
I wish I didn't fucking pause to read. You mean to tell me that if the sus wildfire didn't make me homeless, the government is now going to, even though I had a home to go back to? And like, does the excuse even make sense to anyone? It's like, you have no press release on how you're going to rehabilitate the area, but you will hand me an eviction notice and tell me I have 45 days to get out, but like, I'll get my deposit back. Just don't be late on rent. Like, you haven't even talked to FEMA on how you're going to rehouse everybody that is actually homeless.
Have a home still, and they're kicking them out of it. I hope this is the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Let me make sure I understand everything about this godforsaken timeline so I'm not overreacting. You mean to tell me that a sus wildfire wiped out all the homes of all the locals living in an area that's coincidentally the most valuable in all of Maui, and the insurance companies won't cover the majority of the damages, but also coincidentally, all the rich bankers and real estate developers are willing to buy the land for cheap, like they won't give you full price because the building's missing, but they'll give you more than what it's worth now. And like, this is all legal. Like, this shit's okay. I don't fucking know. Am I overreacting? Somebody please debunk me. Like, this cannot be legal.
And see, this is what I was talking about. And forgive me, please. I don't like to try to play a lot of curse words, but they was laying out some valid points. I don't have a deal where I can edit certain things, and so I hope you're mature enough to focus on what was trying to be said than, the curse words there. So, but I apologize for that. But, yeah. So again, to my point and what I've been trying to tell you about these different, rich bankers and BlackRock and all them trying to come in, and how they were already talking about smart cities and certain things to tear down before they, so they can buy this land up very cheap. The water was turned off so nobody could have water. And I'm about to go to Oprah here soon. Because she's in that billionaires club. She's good friends with Bill Gates and all these people, all the rich. I mean, she sits at the table. She's on the table. She's at the league. Man, y'all just don't know. There's so much to Oprah. But, yeah. So I'm going to show you some other stuff.
May they rest in peace. I know there's more people to be found, but there's just not good explanations here. I mean, where is Joe Biden? Why isn't the president down there? Why are people not down? What is going on? Let's take a look at this video, man.
Very important that everybody knows these circumstances surrounding the Maui wildfires. In order to avoid this video, I'm going to simply state the facts and not give my opinion. No emergency sirens went off on the island to warn anybody of the need to evacuate, even though they have these sirens on the island. School was canceled this day, so all of the kids were at home. When residents tried to use hoses to extinguish the flames that were approaching their homes, they were met with the realization that the water had been shut off. Residents were not able to access water, and firefighters were not able to access water. When residents tried to evacuate Front Street on Lahaina, they were met by a police barricade that didn't let them continue driving. The police officer allegedly said that he was under orders to not allow any of those cars to move from the street, even though the flames were rapidly approaching that area. The temperature of the flames burned tires, burned aluminum in the vehicles, but yet the paint on the roads and the reflectors on the roads were not damaged. There were umbrellas and nearby stores that were untouched. There were trees that were untouched, standing right next to complete rubbish and ash. There have been multiple instances of
By the way.
Okay, so she was stating some of the facts. Like, again, the alarm system didn't go off, one of the best systems in the world. And there was so-called, here's another thing too. There was a storm that was supposedly happening and taking place. That's why you saw some winds going and everything. So they tried to say, like in that very first clip that you saw, the power company, they're trying to blame it on the power company now, or they said, they're probably going to blame it on the power company, which now they're trying to sue and blame it on the power company. The city, as they say, the mayor had no knowing of it because the mayor's daughter actually works for the power company. We're going to get into the mayor here and the police chief pretty soon too. And the corrupt governor I already dealt with. He's as dirty as they come. But it's like they were all in on this. But, but there's fires, they told to dismiss the kids from school. around a certain time. It's like everything was coordinated and planned. It's just all this stuff, these events is odd. It just, I mean, anyone with a common sense and a thinking mind will wonder, okay, what in the world is going on here? You can't just be that dumb and not think, you know, something just don't add up. Something stinks. But I want to show you that map here, you know, and remember too, the reason why you're seeing a lot of these fires taking place is because Antonio, as I said before, Gutierrez, who is the UN Secretary General, said about 1.5 to 2 years ago, we need to have lockdowns to preserve the climate, or in other words, for climate change. So if, you know, certain lockdowns for something in the past wasn't good enough, or having another pandemic, scamdemic happen, then now what's even worse? Let's come up with locking down people for the climate. Let's tell some people, like in some states, but that they can't buy gasoline until after 8 p.m. or no gasoline after 8 p.m. Let's tell people, let's try to get rid of gasoline and stuff like that. And we're going to try to do all these things to sabotage the country in the name of saving the climate, in the name of your safety, in the name of having more electric vehicles. But then you'd be like California, and the whole state is told, well, no charging cars between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. because, you know, it's wearing on the grid. Oh, well, whose dumb idea that was to come up with this whole electric anyway, when you have, I mean, that's costing more electric. That's going to shut down the grid when everything's electric. No, it's by design, because the ultimate goal is to get you out of a car anyway, and have these smart cars or autonomous cars drive you where you need to go while they're still testing and trying to perfect that. Having smart SUVs, smart tractor trailers, these big trucks drive with driverless trucks to take food, distribute all these things to different states without humans, putting people out of work, putting more AI, putting more robots, putting all this stuff online. And I believe by 2040 or 2045, this is just their goal, to have everybody merge with the machine. In other words, you take your chips, have this stuff to where you, in other words, you're half man, half machine. You operate in a system, almost like a cyborg. Why? Because they want to take you away from the essence of who God created you to originally be. But that's another subject. But here's this map right here. I'm going to show you this map. Fire map.
That over on TikTok, a map has surfaced where there's a young man talking on this video, and he's showing fires literally lighting up nearly half of the globe. It looks like there's fires literally everywhere. Well, needless to say, this has been going viral. It's piqued my interest and many other people's interest. So I did a little bit of research and background on this so I can give you what I believe is truly going on with these fires. We'll take a look first at where I found it, and this is on Twitter as well, but here is the actual TikTok video, and I'm just going to play you a portion of it here, but take a listen.
All right, what you're seeing behind me are active wildfires as identified by satellite. Now, this is on Weather Underground. You can set the layers, and you can choose to pull this up.
Now, he's saying he got this off another user on TikTok, and I'm just going to kind of show you. He shows fires all over the globe, as you can see in the video. So what I wanted to do was go directly to the website that he stated and just kind of start there first. So here we are on Weather Underground, and I want to show you the map here. We're on the weatherunderground.com website, and you can see the whole United States of America. And what's cool about this is you can check all kinds of things. You can check, for wind stream there if you want wind stream going on. You can have different things like lightning if you want, or storm reports or anything like that. But if you scroll down kind of to the bottom, you can see wildfires and active fires, and I'm going to check that. And this is active fires as of today, which is August 22nd, 2023. And you can see these fires are all over the flippin' place. Here in the United States, they're in Mexico, of course, in Canada, we know what's going on there. And then we have, South America, we have Brazil over here, and then all over here in Africa and everything as well. So all the continents across the United States of America, or at least a lot of them. Now, that stated, I'm going to hone in a little bit here on the United States of America. I kind of researched some in the United States. What fires are actually happening? Is this a legitimate map? Now, I also checked another map as well, and this is on fireavalanche.org. You can see all the fires there in the United States, and it kind of matches this other map that I had pulled up. Now, I also went in and started looking up some of those areas to see if there were fires, and it did line up depending on the type of fire. Some were fires that they started on purpose. Here we have New Mexico wildfire started by Forest Service. It's a prescribed burn, agency says. Then we have wildfires in Texas. Firefighters battle high volume of fires over the weekend. That was very recent. Then we also have the York Fire, California's largest wildfire of the year as of a couple weeks ago. And then we also have MSN Lighting starts new wildfire in Northern California. And that list kind of goes on and on and on.
Okay, so like I said, some of these are natural. Some of them are, just prescribed burns. But then you have situations like these, the Lahaina. It's just, everything is just suspect. I mean, just stinks to the core. So that's a map showing you the different things that are going on. But let's look at who this police chief is and what his ties are to this.
He's a part of the FBI, right? And in 2017, when the Vegas, shooting and stuff happened, he was a part of that same unit. So they've been trying to ask him questions. People have been coming up to him on their own. And if you check this video out, you'll see how he's not even answering questions.
People here. Maybe it's different for you because you just got here, huh? So it's not the same. It's not the same. No comment?
No comment right now, guys.
No comment? Yeah. I'm talking to the chief, sir. Yeah. Why doesn't he want to speak to the people? Hold me to a camera.
You can use him in here.
No, we called up. We've been looking for him. I thought we're going to do Top Story Tuesdays all over the island. Coffee. Haven't seen him. Been looking for him.
So yeah, the whole time he keeps walking. And I want to ask you a question. Do you think this is a good guy or is he part of some secret group? Put that down in the chat right now. Let me know what you think, and I'm going to prove to you right now what the dude is actually a part of. So moving it on, get into this part right here though. Check this part out. I want to see your comments in the chat box. And when you look closer to him, he had this photo, right? First of all, we got to pull up the photo. We're going to get to Canary Islands, because Canary Islands recently just came out and said, yo, this was deliberately started. So now it's starting to come out that some of these fires are literally deliberately being started, and we got more information on that deliberation. But check out the police chief, right? He's sitting here with his hands crossed, and we can't see his fingers right now, but when you look down at his fingers, it looks like he got some type of 14 degree, and it could be 15, 16 degree, but he got some Masonic looking ring on. And as you can see on his hand, he has the Vegas wristband, because again, he's obviously a part of the freaking plan. He's obviously a part of the operation.
So yes, he was a part of the whole Vegas thing when that went down, when all those that shooting happened, and I think, I don't know, between 35 or 50 people died down there. This before we went down to Vegas, and he was part of that whole deal, that cover up. He was FBI connected. Christopher Wray, he knew him, who's FBI director right now, who's a disgrace. And so, these cowards, what they do is they just be quiet. They try to avoid the serious questions. They're, they're behind it when they're just told to shut up, don't say nothing, keep walking. You see, I mean, what are you covering up? Don't you want to be transparent with the people? But this is what these snakes do. He's the one who gave orders to block the road so people couldn't escape and get through, but rather die and drive into their deaths. Really? I'm going to drive back in the fire? This is the type of evil guy who's a Freemason, as you see his Mason ring, a different one of the types of them, and part of the FBI, just as corrupt as the CIA. I mean, even though there's some good people in the field, I mean, the majority of them still, have their corrupt issues. So when the head stinks, the whole fish stinks. So it is what it is. And this is the guy. And the crooked, evil governor who's already was talking about selling and divesting land and turning this place into a smart city, just like the lady said, well, there you go, Jeff Bezos. Now you got what you wanted. There you go. Your smart satellite city or whatever, to all these other people. And again, none of the rich folks' houses got touched and burned. You'll see that here in a second too. But let's look at this cowardly mayor.
Well, of course, because they have something to hide. Check this out.
Chief Bisson was wrapping up a media briefing in Lahaina today when a man confronted him about the information being publicly released.
We have no idea if any of them are children. We have no idea.
That's independent journalist Nick Sorter. His social media says he flew in from Louisville 2 days ago. Police asked Sorter to calm down and even physically held him back. He persisted, but it eventually ended peacefully.
Sir, we don't know who you are. You're not identifying yourself as
Are you
media.
law enforcement? Yeah. We talked to law enforcement. So we're not going to ask questions. How many of these 10 cadavers are?
The Maui department, okay? The press show is over. Yeah.
So he's not going to answer my
done.
question.
Thank you.
They take pictures of me.
There's no need for hacking.
You're with Maui Police, right?
Yeah, he's done with the press
I
conference.
appreciate your patience, sir.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. Who are you?
With the Maui Police Department.
Okay, and what's my crime? You're literally pushing me.
The press conference is
I
over.
don't fucking care if the press conference is over. Get out of the way. I'm sorry. All right, so start 110 cadavers, but we can't identify. We can't identify how many of them are children. This is get out of my fucking dude. Get off my throat.
Relax, sir. Relax.
No, I'm not gonna get.
Relax.
No, I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna relax, dude. No, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm trying to ask a fucking question, and we can't get the answer for it.
Because cowards don't want to answer. And you have all these other cowards who are playing
How many of the 110
cover.
dead are children? You know who are children. They're cadavers. You have the bodies. You know how many of them are children. How many children are dead? Step back, please. How many children are dead, Mayor? So you're just not going to tell me.
I don't know. I wish
Yes,
I knew
you
the answer.
do. How many children are missing? You
If I
know.
knew the answer to that, I'd be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess
Nothing?
we can end this right now. If you guys want. Sorry,
This is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody. Please, this is our first only.
Well, we could say that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You're welcome to say it. I mean, you're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay. Please.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine.
You won't even wait.
Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys that are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the real answers then? Give them the real answers.
That's not his question.
Let him.
Yeah. You can go.
So you see, these cowards won't even answer the questions. They won't even just be transparent with the people. It's like they always have something to cover. Won't say nothing. And the police chief is, wait for it, also the coroner. Oh, that's illegal. You can't be the police chief and the coroner. Oh, but in a crooked organization, when everyone's crooked and, hey, let me tell you, anything flies with these crooks. And so he's able to be the police chief and the body coroner. No wonder there was reports of them in a local Hawaii news online newspaper that was talking about the ashes of these people being just melted down or compacted together and shipped off to the mainland. And some of them even been put in gun ranges. They scrubbed that from Google. Some people got snapshots of that screen before they took it down, but Google deleted that story off of its server. I mean, you can't even find it. So who else is in on this? See, so this is very, very, very suspect. Now let's talk about some of the one of the main causes. All right.
We found flights literally right before the fires was happening. And check this out. So you had this happen in 2020 where they were circling with this same type of aircraft. This is an FBI aircraft. And look here, they've changed it because they're under multiple different companies' front groups. So they changed their name, so they will change it. So don't expect the same one. But look here on screen, on a recent date, you find out that they specifically flew this pattern in California or Oregon, literally where the fires are going down at. Not only have we found that, we found what they're really trying to fry the gravy off our biscuits with, and we found the actual plane that they're flying around that I just showed you all the data for. So as you see on screen here, this is the actual plane the FBI is flying, and look at that, it says danger, and that's because there's a laser weapon mounted on them. And literally, this is what everybody need to be looking for, because like I said, I have deep information on the next part of the agenda here. And we're going to go into, so if we go into this right here.
Why the blue car did not burn in flames. Same as the blue.
So as you can see, literally the blue parts are not hit, right? But we had somebody else put out a video on Twitter who shows that every different color that was hit was not burnt by this laser, but the blue one. Everyone was burnt except the blue one. Now, this may be programmable frequencies that they have, obviously, inside the laser weapons, but this tells a lot of why the blue cars didn't get burnt like the other cars. Now, moving down into the
outlets, it will end up as another unsolved mystery with unanswered questions remaining forever. Before it does, we need to keep exploring all possibilities of what may have actually taken place, which will lead us to the question, do you believe it's all just a coincidence? Only 4 months before the fire, we saw this.
If you happen to see green lasers in the sky, not to worry, it's the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers conducting coastal surveys. And they're being done using a contracted aircraft equipped with a light detection and ranging system. The lasers are used to measure distance. Residents near Oahu South facing shores between Barbers Point and Diamond Head might see those broad beams of green light across the night sky. It'll happen between midnight and 5 a.m. from Friday, April the 28th through the 30th. Officials.
What? What the? What? Hold on. Is he on the news just calmly talking about seeing what? U.S. Army Corps of Engineers conducting coastal surveys randomly. Huh?
Say brief exposure to the light is not harmful to the unprotected eye.
Matt Wallace tweeted, should Elon Musk release all the information X has on the Maui fires? Just imagine if all of Elon's satellites floating around out there in space accidentally captured something we all were not supposed to see.
So why does this make sense? Why am I so excited about this program, aside from the fact that lasers and ATVs are awesome? It also makes great business sense. Very smart for business as well, because when you think about it, one little laser blast is probably guesstimating about $1.
Think of it like a welding torch being put on target, but from many hundreds of meters away.
Operationally, it works just like a laser pointer. There's a chamber inside with special materials that release photons.
I mean, even President Biden's tweet used a very interesting choice of words, saying they were laser focused when referencing the Maui fire. Just in case you didn't catch his tweet, he repeated it out loud again this week.
I remain laser focused on recovering and rebuilding efforts in Maui.
We were out there, and many of you were there as well. It's devastating what happened.
Do you believe him now? If the power lines didn't start the fire, what did? Things certainly just keep getting more coincidental in Maui. Today we're learning that Mayor Rick Bisson was not involved in Maui County's decision to sue Hawaiian Electric because his daughter, Sable Bisson, works for the utility on the island.
That is damning enough. Now, there's been plenty of videos like this out on the internet, right? Of people saying, wow, very curious how the fires happen to avoid multi-million-dollar mansions. Curious how Oprah and Zuckerberg and Obama are buying up the entire island of Maui. And it seems like all the rich people's homes didn't get touched by the fire. And all the poor people's homes, which of course we needed to push them out in order to make room for our new lap pools and tennis courts, well, their homes got burned to ashes. Joe Biden gave them $700, patted them on the head, and said, you'll never see your children again, okay? So these are the kind of clips that went up and went immediately viral, right? Like this has 21,000 retweets. Meanwhile, fires in Maui know how to avoid multimillionaire properties. Climate change sure is smart. But these are the tweets that are going viral now that have less to do with like skepticism about the nature of the fire and more to do with the response that the evil emergency managers in Hawaii and the leaders there had to these fires in the first place. Check this out. This is from Matt Walsh. It got an Elon Musk response that said everyone needs to go to jail. Amazing tweet here. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. So what is this chart right here? Is this Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio after becoming Speaker of the House? No, actually, this is the interest in directed energy weapons in Google search after devastated the town. Now, it is our obligation to separate fact from fiction from what we don't know. We're skeptics on this show, so we can ask questions, and it is quite literally our job and our constitutional right to do so. There is a massive interest in directed energy weapons. Presumably, the interest in directed energy weapons spiked after the curious footage of the fires in Lahaina, as people started to notice that these fires, well, only affected the poor neighborhoods and had no effect on the rich multimillionaire mansions that crisscrossed the ocean side. No, it was only the small and impoverished communities that got burnt to a crisp. Quite an interesting fire there, you might say. And I would say, yeah, people deserve answers for what the hell is going on. Ultimately, people deserve the answers, and we are here to give them the answers. The truth about directed energy weapons is that they're real. Directed energy weapons are a real thing. It's something that the DoD is developing in many different forms, whether it be satellite or shipborne or something that you carry with you. Directed energy weapons is something that is openly being used in trials right now, according to CNET. The U.S. commander in the Indo-Pacific is interested in more widely experimenting with deploying directed energy weapons designed to zap electronics and incinerate incoming threats. The Navy Admiral, who leads the China-focused Indo-Pacific Command, on August 28th said he's certainly looking into asymmetric advantages and said he should bring it. I'm very encouraged by the high-energy laser capacities that are being experimented with and utilized. So, to say that these don't exist is a lie. These are real. Here's Lockheed Martin. This is one of the largest defense contractors in America, with a very glossy presentation about how exciting directed energy weapons are, harnessing the power of lasers for the 21st century. They have all these little videos and everything up on their YouTube talking about how excited they are. And then these videos actually, you can click on them. These videos actually show tests where they successfully used, there you go, you can see it there on your screen, successfully used lasers to effectively blow up airplanes out of the sky. These are ground-based lasers. This stuff exists. Okay, are we done? Okay, we're good. Like these things do exist. They're actively being tested, and so these are real. Now, did these weapons cause the Maui fires? People are saying that Space Force is located on Maui. There is a massive Space Force base on Maui. Did something go horribly wrong? What happened? You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to just simply read the corporate press and see that the government services that were in charge of Lahaina and Maui, well, they closed down the roads trapping people inside of the town. They pushed people towards the center of the town, which was effectively an oven. They shut down the water supply that could have helped prevent the blazes from spreading. And, of course, they didn't sound the sirens to warn people of the dangers. Very curious. They also passed pieces of legislation right before the emergency that allowed them to take everyone's homes. So, yeah, people have a right to be very, very suspicious about who's going to profit and benefit from these fires. In fact, if they head to some of the local residents' YouTube accounts, they'd find some other curiosities. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man named Hawaiian Real Estate Org on YouTube. This dude has an account. He is posted. He lives in Maui. He's posted a lot. He is not crazy. He posts stuff about, like...
And that man also, after going viral, somebody complained about him and he lost his job as a real estate agent. He was very good at what he did. He cares about he loves God, you know, from what he professes. He cares about his family. He loves people. He's raising money for people on a GoFundMe. Maui Real Estate. You can find it on YouTube and you can find out how to donate. But then you have, you know, they're coming after him, and he was a truth teller. This is why they're trying to shut down information, because they don't want to be exposed. This is why people being quiet, because they know they're on to them. It's like, man, we can't wish this away. They're just, you know, when you do dirt and you do evil, it's going to come after you. It's going to catch up with you. So you might as well not do evil. So these people are willing to do the crime, but they don't want to do the time. You know, it's a coward to me. But especially when you want to hurt innocent people and children. I mean, my goodness, how demonically possessed are you? Very. So, but how did Oprah benefit? How did Oprah benefit? Notice none of the rich homes got touched or anything. And you look at how these fires were controlled. That's the same way some of those fires happened in California. And then you had P&G, which is owned by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, one of the two. And how certain areas got touched. This area didn't get touched. This area got touched. This, you know, it's just all selected fire burns. And I was like, this is the weirdest pattern. Because a normal fire would just consume and sweep everything. And plus that, too, they was pointing out in some of those videos by Maui Real Estate how certain metals does not get burnt down to ash. I mean, completely brought down to nothing. There's no fire on earth, natural fire, that can do that. But what was this? They said only something of a laser or something type of projected beam that can make and crush a substance like that. Certain types of metals down to ash. I mean, totally obliterated it. That's not normal fire that does something like that. And how certain things that were blue, it was being skipped past probably because of a certain programming. You saw that. This is crazy. So how did Oprah profit? Let's look.
Somebody named Oprah. Yeah, here's Oprah. You all saw her mewling, disgusting video demanding that everyone donate to Maui so they can save her favorite little drinking spots and vacation place. Do you know that Oprah, after all of this PR, has received, look at that number, $4,000. That's what's been raised. 95 donors. Look at that. Now, this is directly from TikTok. Oprah is a fraud. Oprah is a liar. Oprah made that video because there were headlines like this that were starting to trickle out. Oprah was forced to make that video demanding that you funnel your money to a couple of billionaires so they could decide what to do with it, so they could save their favorite vacation spot. Ladies and gentlemen, because she was panicking. Oprah silent amid Maui fires as desperate Hawaii residents beg for celebrity billionaires to help. Well, why are they begging Oprah to help specifically? Oh, because Oprah owns like half of Maui. Look at this article. This article here from March 2023. Oh, that's interesting. So this article is from just this spring. Oprah snaps up 870 acres on Hawaiian Island for $6.6 million on top of the 100 she already owns, amid anger from locals that says the mega rich are pricing her out. Oprah, who's 70 years old, owns 1,000 acres on the Paradise Island in Hawaii. Her latest purchase cost $6.6 million. Well, that's interesting because Oprah only gave $5 million to the People's Fund of Hawaii. Now I say only because she's worth $3.5 billion. That means she gave less than 0.02% of her net worth. But Oprah gave a lot more money in order to buy thousands of acres of land, nearly 1,000 acres of land. And of course, she's doing important renovations on her private property there. And here's Oprah grinning like an absolute monster as she buys up all of the land that could be used to house the people who lost their homes in the fire. Has Oprah offered to house any of the people who lost their homes in a fire on her 1,000 acres that she spent more money on than she donated to the people? No. The answer is no. Oprah hasn't done that. In fact, Oprah is facing allegations of stealing resources from the people who needed them the very most while the fires were burning, ravaging, and dare I say, burning children alive, which we know happened. Pets, animals, people, and little children who were trapped. Oprah Winfrey faces accusations of hiring private firefighters to protect her massive estate during the Maui wildfire, thus depleting the resources from the people that actually needed them. Okay, so where do these allegations come from? Let's check in. Now, this is the video that has gone viral and is very interesting. I'm going to play it for you. It's very interesting. This is a Maui resident, allegedly, who is saying that it's a known fact that Oprah hired private firefighters to protect her property.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui.
You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that you somehow managed to hire a private firefighting team to protect your land before the fires started. You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people, you've hired a private security team to keep them off your land. You're so concerned about Maui that you simply haven't had time to denounce any of the shady real estate deals which are robbing people of everything they have, you know, like the ones you were involved in that helped you acquire that land for pennies on the dollar of what it was actually worth. You're so concerned about Maui that instead of taking what would amount to a year's salary for you and 4 or 5 of your billionaire friends, which could be used to rebuild the entire place in a matter of months, you're jumping on social media and asking the American public, most of whom can't afford to pay their rent right now, to do it for you. You're so concerned about Maui that it's more important that you get social media points than that you help.
Ooh-wee. Man, I tell you, it's something else. But this is the last clip I'm going to show you. It's probably 10 minutes long or so, and we're going to end it right here. Longest video I've done so far, but just bringing things to a head. Now, a lot of those were clips and things happening over a period of a month, all leading up to now, probably about a month and 2 weeks in since Lahaina, maybe. So, but now this just happened a day ago. James O'Keefe just went down there. Today's the 14th of September. So probably about around the 12th or the 13th, he went down there to Lahaina and he did an investigative video. So we're going to leave it right here and we'll close this up.
This bypass isn't, nobody's parking along it, nobody's taking photos. It's not like they're trying to hide anything, but it's actually a emergency thing down there.
I filmed with a button camera.
They don't want nobody stopping on the side and taking photos.
I could be arrested for doing this right now. You can't take a picture.
Anybody can take pictures. No one can stop you guys from taking pictures.
Well, he said we were going to get arrested. Picture.
Kind of pushing, puffing the chest.
It's part of the emergency proclamation that this whole area is deemed under the wildfire disaster area.
If you guys park here, that's technically in violation. I was wondering if he was going to detain me.
Nah, they're probably just being assholes, man. Asking for the emergency law. I'm a policeman in Honolulu, and I never heard of that.
People are missing still?
Unaccounted for. Their bodies got cremated, so they're like dust.
so it's hard to get the DNA off them. The dogs can come in and try to get a scent, and then they run the DNA.
It's like, how does that work with like the First Amendment and stuff like that?
We want to stop and do like a news report on the side of the road.
You would be able to do it where it's not in front of the burn zone. I don't know if there's anything set up for journalists. We don't want to have, but usually on the second offense because it is within the proclamation.
They only all these, unmarked cars. They park on the side of the road.
Like feds or?
I don't know who they are.
And when are you filing this lawsuit? About 5 minutes. And where are you filing it?
Government court. And we're just trying to make sure that the government is kept in check. Otherwise, they will go unhinged.
James O'Keefe here on Lahaina Bypass in Maui. We just spoke to this officer on the corner of Lahaina Bypass and Kai Heleku Street, and he told us about the governor's emergency proclamation, suspending First Amendment rights here in Maui, saying that you cannot photograph past Kai Heleku Street or you will be arrested. With the governor's emergency, like what is the rule?
So if you want to look it up, it's on the HRS. It's just the Hawaii Revised Statutes. It's 127 Alpha 29.
127 Alpha 29?
Yeah.
It's the
Hawaii Revised Statute.
The Hawaii Revised Statute?
Yes.
Okay, and just what does that mean?
Because of the fire.
Okay.
They're just making sure that this bypass isn't, nobody's parking along it, nobody's taking photos for safety. It's not like they're trying to hide anything, but it's actually a emergency thing down there.
I filmed with a button camera, my colleague with a camera in the brim of the phone. He did not know that you were recording, but he did inform me that if I was to record past this street, then I would be arrested.
What did he say? Dude, he was all in.
So he gave us the statute and everything.
Yeah.
He says you're not allowed to take photos from this point on.
Yeah.
With this emergency revised statute.
He said from this road all the way, you can't stop. You can't take pictures of the ocean. You can't take any pictures.
Yeah.
He
from
said
this moment here, and I was like, where does the website tell us that this is the part? No photos of the ocean or whatnot.
Yeah, they don't want nobody stopping on the side and taking photos.
Does the website show us that rule or that law or
not? I don't believe it does.
He said from this road all the way that way, he goes, it's all military National Guard checkpoints.
There's a checkpoint, National Guard checkpoint.
Okay.
You can try and check in over there and see if they'll allow you guys in there.
All right, so you're looking at Lahaina right there. Downtown Lahaina. This is the zone where we're not allowed to photograph. The police officer telling me that I'm not supposed to be doing this. I could be arrested for doing this right now. I'm not supposed to be filming, but we are filming because we have a First Amendment right to film. Now, we talked to 2 members of the National Guard using a hidden camera, and the first guardsman said that the cops don't know what they're talking about, that we can, in fact, film. What's your name?
Chase.
Chase?
Yeah, Aki.
Are you guys like police or?
We're just National Guard.
The National Guard?
Yeah.
They brought the National Guard in?
Yeah.
Why did this happen?
A few weeks ago I had a storm. It was all wind, heavy wind. So outside everything was catchy.
What about the sirens? Did those work?
Sirens? No, the sirens wasn't going off.
It wasn't?
I'm not too sure.
Why not?
I'm not too sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal with.
How many people died?
A lot. It's bad.
Wow.
Shoot, most of Lahaina is all shut down on this side right now.
It's all shut down? Yeah. Why is that?
Because of the fire. 80-90% of Lahaina burned.
I was taking a picture with him on the ocean, and some state trooper said, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't take a picture." You know what I mean?
Anybody can take pictures. No one can stop you guys from taking pictures.
Well, he's like, so we're going to get arrested if you take a picture. I was just taking a picture of my buddy in front of the ocean.
Yeah, it's sensitive, this right now, with everybody.
It's like, how does that work with like the First Amendment and stuff like that?
Like no one can stop you from taking a picture, but there's a lot of people that's going to try to be like...
He said we were going to get arrested if we take a picture.
Kind of pushing and puffing the chest.
We pulled off to the side of the road and spoke with a deputy sheriff. He got rather invasive in the vehicle. I showed him the revised statute, and he told us again that we cannot record. Can we take a picture?
Of here?
Yeah.
Not really. We're trying to keep people off the bypass.
Or just from on the road?
Sorry.
I'm a little confused because earlier the officer said we couldn't, but we checked with the National Guard and they said that we could. So what is the reason that we can't take a picture?
Well, it's part of the emergency proclamation that this whole area is deemed under the wildfire disaster area.
Which one is it? Oh, I see. Emergency period infractions, violations, misdemeanors, and misdemeanors.
Is it saying that you can't take photos and stuff?
Well, it's saying that you're not supposed to park over here. So if you guys park here, that's technically in violation.
All right.
Well, you guys, just, keep the people of Hawaii in your prayers. Be a voice for them. Be, share the light, share this, and expose the lies and everything that's trying to be hidden and concealed and covered up. There's too much deception out there, and so people need to know the truth. They're trying to brush this up and brush it away, and they don't want you to know. But the Bible says, whatever is done in the dark shall be brought to the light. So I hope that was very enlightening and informative, but also so we can know how to pray for people, and also maybe how we can help share the information and get it out there, because deception is real, and that spirit is a strong one in this earth. God bless you guys. Till the next video.